fought the rest, now try the best!
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today we're going to do a news update and talk all things gaming. And when you talk about all things gaming, you have to talk about Grand Theft Auto 6. Take-Two boss says GTA 6 won't have any product placement for real-world brands. The quote says it's a fictional world and everything in it is fictional. So we're not even at risk of doing brand partnerships because all the brands are made up. And I think that keeps it pure. We need to be true to the underlying intellectual property, and we need to be true to our customers. That is a pretty massive statement, because there he's kind of confirming that they're not doing any collaborations, they're not doing any skins from other games. They're just going to do everything the GTA way. Now, we still don't know whether or not they'll embrace things like a battle pass and adding skins. They kind of do things their own way with shark cards and kind of cosmetics and adding new kind of content expansions. I'm sure they're thinking of a lot of new ways of making money, but some of the ways that we were expecting has been shut down with this tweet. Another one says, this comes from the Take-Two boss as well, that the Take-Two CEO has doubled down on GTA 6 release date, saying a lot of people will be calling in sick on November 19th. So it doesn't seem like they're going to delay the game. I know a lot of people are kind of used to them pushing it back and it's never going to happen. But so far, we're getting closer and closer and they have not moved it back. Now, as for Tekken 8, a lot of players are watching Evo Japan currently. The developers have already confirmed that they will do an announcement for Kunimitsu after top 8. Usually they do it before, now they're doing it after. I love this change. Also, something that I want to note, this is not confirmed, but it's just something that I'm interested in whether or not they'll do it, is tease Bob at the end of Kunimitsu's trailer. In season 2, at the end of Anna's trailer, they teased Armor King. At the end of Armor King's trailer, they teased Falconram. Will that trend continue in season 2? I mean, considering that we didn't get a sneak peek look at Bob or Roger, they only confirmed the characters in kind of their outfits and their renders. So it'll be interesting to see whether or not they do so or not. Only time will tell. We have a couple of days, no need to speculate really hard about it. Now, as for Evo Japan, something else that happened that's kind of really changing the way people are talking about these games is, I'll read the tweet. Evo Japan set a world record with the largest Street Fighter tournament in history. 7,685 players have signed up to participate in Street Fighter 6. Registration numbers for other titles don't even come close to that amount. Tekken 8 boasts a measly 882 participants in comparison, with Guilty Gear Strive close behind that at about 740. It is no secret that Street Fighter is absolutely massive and is taking over Japan. Tekken wishes and dreams and hopes and tried to shape their game to try to gain a piece of that, but they were not able to. This game has taken so many steps back. At the start of Tekken 8, they had 5,000 people show up to their tournament. So to go from 5,000 to a basically record low of 800, you're talking about this is equal to almost tag 2 numbers. Tekken 7 was hovering around 1,000, almost 2,000 section. So they've fallen hard. The developers really need to get it together, because they said it themselves that tournaments is one of their biggest ways to promote and advertise, and is why Tekken 7 was so successful. And with them suffering so hard in that aspect, they have to find a way to get the pro players back, and there's only one way to do that. One way the pro players will want to come back and play this game. Now, an Tekken 8 developer comments on this situation and says, Street Fighter 6 popularity is absolutely insane. Sure, that's great and all for the hype, but it's kind of weird that fans of other stuff are suddenly saying their own content is overdone, with some for the reason. It's a little bit choppy because of the translation, but we'll keep reading. Let's think about it calmly. Even if it's on the scale of 100 people, that is still a huge number. It's just that Street Fighter 6 is that amazing. How this polarization will affect things going forward. Now, while I do think that Street Fighter is just going crazy right now, when you just think back to how Tekken 8 had 5,000 people at launch and it dropped to 800, I think that says a lot about what the developers have done to kind of ruin players' excitement for this game. Think about NA players. Those guys don't even want to leave their state to compete, let alone the country. Tekken has to change that. Another thing that kind of shows Tekken kind of fall off is when Evo did the head-to-head matches, the Legends matches. Chikrin faced Arsenal and Ash. The final score was 7-10. But what's interesting about it is when they posted this to Twitter, the tweet only got 825 likes. That's a lot of likes, but when you take into consideration the City of Wolves tweet got 1,000 likes while being a smaller game, it just shows that people are once again not only interacting more with other games, but they're hyped for other games. And then Street Fighter, this game was insane. 13,000 likes, 1.2 million views. Tekken has to do something if they want to basically survive, fight back. But we know that Bandai Namco doesn't allow for failure to exist, so right now it's not looking too pretty. Also keep in mind that this is the first time that the company is moving forward without Harada. So players also are kind of lacking faith in the new leadership, and it's up to the new leadership to build that trust and keep that trust that Harada built over all these 30 years. Tekken has this upcoming update where they're planning to do some more balance changes. I'll put on the screen right now the screenshot that comes from the patch notes where they're talking about some of the things that they want to do. And I think it's really important that that update delivers because, you know, players are really excited about this update that they recently did. But then if they continue that, because they have promised, if you guys like read the screenshot, you can see that they promised to do more updates in the future. And if they could do a continuous string of like just good thing after good thing after good thing, it could turn the game and the way people discuss the game around. But the thing is that they have to like commit to it. They have to do it. They have to make it work. If not, I think we'll see what's currently going on where the game just gets kind of lower and lower and lower, and then eventually Bandai Namco pulls the plug. It was at that point a couple of times in the past, but Harada, with his leverage in the company at the time, was able to change course. If that happens this time, I don't know if Nakatsu will be able to do the same, or even Michael Murray. So that's why we have to change course now, which is probably why they are kind of changing course a little bit now, but we'll see. Now, as for Mortal Kombat and also Injustice 3, there's a little bit news there. Ed Boon said in a news article, they almost did Cole Young as a cameo fighter in Mortal Kombat 1. For those of you who don't know, this is the main character of the Mortal Kombat 1 movie, but they said we ran out of time and had to start working on their next game. It was pretty interesting because a lot of people were thinking like, why is this guy not in the game? He's, you know, the face of the movie. Why is he not playable? You thought that would have happened, but it was pushed back so far to where they kind of like didn't really do it. And what's interesting is if you think about how Mortal Kombat made their game, sold 8 million copies, they could have made another season at least, and it could have been, you know, even more hype, even more sales, even more longevity for that game. But they immediately started working on their next game, which players are now believing to be Injustice 3. There was a developer who basically was filling out their resume, trying to find new places to work. And in their resume, they listed the game that they worked on as Injustice 3. This is pretty interesting because Injustice 3 is not confirmed. It's not a real thing. So if you're putting that on your resume as a game you worked on, I mean, that's kind of a big deal, right? This artist did something for the game and they're moving on to the next. It says Injustice 3 is officially in development. The project has surfaced through a Warner Bros. Game artist resume. So a lot of people are taking this discovery as confirmation, and I guess we'll see something sooner rather than later.